It's a minute after 1:30 right here on Power 987. It's Power Zone, and now we're unpacking the insurance scams that many people are experiencing. And I want to maybe get a sense of, is there an age bracket as well, which is quite an important question. Is there an age bracket that is mainly maybe a huge target of the scams? Is there an age bracket that is also responsible a various share of the fraudulent cases that have been noted with dishonesty as well amongst them? Refugee now joins us on the line to be our voice of reason, and that's Refugee Manyama, Senior Financial Advisor. Refugee, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Power 987.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Preeti. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Refugee, I was very disappointed yesterday. My heart really sank. You know what I mean? I wanted to have this conversation with you, and you were nowhere to be found.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right,
Okay,
Refugee.
doing two jobs now. We are in this Ramaphosa economy. So,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
yeah, you
no.
find yourself clocking in at different times now, and yeah,
No, it's
finding that balance
absolutely
is
fine, Refilwe. But thank you so much for availing yourself this morning.
thank you for
Refilwe, you
having me.
speak about Ramaphosa's economy and the state of the country, where obviously a lot of people are now pressed and forced to do a lot of criminal activities, and one of them being fraud as a big highlight. And I want us to focus on some of the insurance fraud activities that are transpiring. What have you noticed? What are the very key ones that seem to be your top three or top five that you've noticed that are quite frequent in increasing the statistics of our insurance scams?
Well, first of all, please do allow me to name them in no specific order.
Please go ahead.
Um, So the first one will be electronics insurance. So for your cell phone, for your laptop, and other gadgets that people are now owning these days. So people normally would get like a fake damage report or a manufactured damage report that says the gadget is beyond repair, just so they can simply get a brand new one. Or as you may have noticed that with recent years, Apple can release, for example, Apple can release an Apple iPhone, 11 this year, and then next year it's a 12. The year after that it's a 13, then 16 and 17. So people normally can't keep up with the pricings around those new gadgets. So the idea around it is that they would normally go put in a claim to say that it is irreparable, and so the insurance covers them in that instance, so that they can claim for a brand new gadget. And they do this continuously with, more than just iPhones, any other phone brand, as well as laptops. We see it happening a lot when it comes to also gaming laptops and just computers in general. So the second one will then be on life insurances. A lot of people would fabricate a claim for life insurance, as they tend to pay out large sums of money. And so there's a number of ways whereby they do this, but in most cases, this are carefully curated. They are carefully planned out and executed, normally also including an inside man from one of the brokers or insurance companies, or using the help of the IT staff in these insurance companies. And of course, this, if you are found doing this, it has very adverse consequences on your name and on also, your future in being able to get insurance. The third one, as we move along, would be also about funeral covers. It's also named risk cover. So with funeral covers, there's also large sums of money, and I guess this is the reason why the regulator has kept the maximum amount of a funeral cover to about 100K to about 125 per individual in South Africa, because there's been numerous fake claims on funeral covers. Normally, someone can take out a cover for. They normally call them around the insurance spaces, around the industry. They normally call them ghost policies. So it is a funeral policy, and it is being paid for each and every single month, but the person actually does not exist. So they might acquire a fake ID, or they might actually get an ID of someone that's already passed on. And then after just serving the waiting period, then put in a claim. But
No way to
nonetheless,
feel it. So you're saying that in that case of the ghost, an ID document can be used twice. Does it not appear on the system? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to really get you carefully here. I get the part of creating a fake ID, but the part of using the same or an already deceased person's ID.
that will definitely appear under any normal circumstances. But remember, in most cases, they
It's
get
a
help
scam,
from an
yeah.
inside man working in the insurance company itself. Right?
Please go ahead.
Yes. Now, another way that they do this, usually again with the help of an employee of the insurance company, um, a normal claim might come in, but more money than that was supposed to be paid is paid out. And then the inside man, the employee of the insurance company, will then contact the beneficiary and say, hey, there was a mistake. You've been paid about double or three times what you were supposed to be paid for your claim. Please resend the money back into this account. Now, the account there is normally a different account from the one that the insurer is using. And that's how they then fraudulently claim these insurances. So those are the top three from the top of my head that I can think of. Those are the frequent ones that we normally have meetings around them. We normally have trainings on how to watch out for those. And there are numerous ways, a number of ways. And again, these ways, they keep on coming up. You will often hear about a new way
I was about
of,
to say, I'm sure they keep on revolving as well.
yeah, they evolve as fast as we implement solutions. Like, for example, phishing. You get an email and it says, hey, your claim is paid out. Please click on this link to access your funds. And then you click on the link. It's asking you for more and more details about yourself, your ID numbers, your banking details, and all that stuff. And for someone that is not aware, or someone that is not even thinking that it could be a scam, you will give your information willingly. The next thing you know, you are complicit in a very fraudulent claim of an insurance, or you yourself are getting scammed by people pretending to be from a certain brokerage or an insurance company, and then next thing your funds are leaving your bank account. So it's a number of ways. They either use emails, SMSs. Sometimes they call you directly, claiming to be a representative of a very reputable insurance company. In the meantime, gathering your personal information, and then in the process, you can really suffer some dire consequences, and you can lose large sums of funds, especially if they carefully selected you, knowing your financial standing, knowing how much could be possibly in your bank account, especially if they start asking questions around your earnings. Not to say that people should refrain from giving their insurer the information about their earnings, because in recent years it has become mandatory for each and every insurance company to conduct what is known as know your client. This is around the issue of FICA. So it's very important to first make sure you are speaking to a representative of the company, and to make sure that you need to ask questions. Questions like, where are your offices based? Questions like, what is the company's numbers, office numbers? Questions like, you can even go as far as asking who's your manager and your and their representatives' names, so that should you decide to go to the offices or call the customer services, then you have all this information to give and ask in return for clarity on what has been happening. So yes, insurance companies in recent years, of course, they ask how much you earn so that they can put you in different categories. They can screen you accordingly to the amount of insurance you can be able to pay and the amount of insurance that you can afford. Because in recent years, it has become a question of affordability instead of just giving you insurance without knowing you well, without giving you or without having a record of advice for your own protection as a consumer, and also for record keeping for the insurance company, as this is required by the FSCA.
There is an influence behind the premium increases, and I'd like to believe that it is the fraudsters, it's the fraudulent claims as well, and this just creates a whole ripple effect on the entire pool of the policy holders, where the insurance are now forced to increase the premiums, and this can be across all categories, and maybe also considering the high risk, including some of the items that are being insured, or maybe the life covers, and just basic insurance industry on its own. Maybe expand on this as well for us to maybe get a broader perspective.
Well, of course, when you look, I mean, I gave the most frequent insurance scams in no order, but when you go into more details and you look at them, of course, the fraudulent activities around them create that ripple effect where insurance companies would normally look at, when it comes to insurances around gadgets, they'll look at the gadget that is mostly found to have had fraudulent claims. And then the prices for insuring that gadget will spike, will go up significantly. Also, with other products like your funeral covers and life covers, even car insurance in recent years, the specific details or the specific areas or the specific gadgets in terms of electronics, those ones that have a record of high fraudulent claims, they will normally be higher than those ones that have been found to have lesser or no fraudulent claims at all. So, of course, when fraudsters are doing this, it doesn't just harm the insurance company. It also harms everybody across the board, including you as an honest consumer, because now you are paying a higher price for something that you were not complicit in. Now you are paying a higher price for something that you yourself, in fact, have not even figured that you could actually do it yourself, And so this just creates a kind of inflated market for certain products and certain gadgets. But remember, it's still important to have insurance, as insurance comes through and helps you when the unfortunate happens. So unfortunately, you end up paying more because of somebody else who had this idea of scamming the company or scamming the system itself. So, of course, the ripple effect is mostly as a direct result of more frequent fraudulent claims.
You made a very clear reference to some of the fraudulent activities, making note of how these scammers have the information of finding out, or they have the ability to find out information that gives them an idea of your salary bracket, the amount of money that you are capable of really giving to them or being scammed, the amount of money that you are able to be scammed, just giving them a rough idea of your background. Have you seen maybe a certain pattern of an age group in particular with various fraud activities?
Well, yes. In fact, there is a particular group. Now, most unfortunately, and this is very heartbreaking, most of the victims of these scammers and fake brokers, grandparents, older people, the elders, normally those with very good pension fund packages, mostly those who are well off in their retirement. Because remember also, even if your retirement is coming in, I'll just make a rough example here. If your retirement is paying out about 20,000 per month, you still feel the need to kind of invest a bit more for your grandchildren, kind of leave a bit more for your family, for your loved ones. So normally they are unaware that a very nice sounding gentleman could be actually a scammer, could actually just be asking all this information to say, so how much are you getting per month and what are your expenses per month and what are your goals now that you are in retirement and what other goals do you have? Do you want to travel? Do you want to buy another house? Do you want to leave a certain amount of money for your family? And so, the elders normally just, especially if you are respectful and sounding very nice and polite, they fall for this. And that's where we see very high numbers of fraudulent activities impacting that age group. Um, from pension, we could say around 55, 60 going up. And yeah, so those are normally. But when it comes to the millennials, how do I say millennial? Millennials. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Yeah. The millennials, they normally, no, they are not about that.
Millenniums.
Yeah, they are normally, the minute you start asking lots of questions, in fact, if you are overly polite, overly nice on the phone, they will hang up the phone on you. And I wish that even our elders could start doing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess also the environment they grew up in, which is very different from ours, is the reason why they are shaped that way. It shaped them to be that way. They're just not used to phone calls like that. But I wish we could have more. We could build more awareness up around this fraudulent activities happening and around this aspect as a whole. But focusing more on our elders because they are the ones who get hurt really the most compared to any other age groups and demographics.
Yeah, no, I think they're a very huge target, and we've seen it one too many times as well. I want to then further stretch the conversation to understanding that during a case where you've spotted dishonesty, if fraud is detected, we have now decided to claim for my belongings, maybe insuring some of my belongings, your jewelry, electronics, and so on. You've now detected all of this, and the consequences are obviously something that I need to face. Take me through the process of this. And I ask this because, yes, we've got a very clear indication of that. Obviously, the policy at that point is cancelled. The claim would be flagged across some insurance industry records as well. Given the fact that policy holders need to reveal a lot of their personal information, your ID number, there's so much more that could be attached to it. Does it have any relationship with some of the consequences of being blacklisted or any severe consequence that could lead to you not being able to um, be able to get a new contract with a new policy, or any sort of severe consequence that could be of representation and of bad will when it comes to your record? How does the whole situation of then being detected after dishonesty really proceedings go?
Well, it plays out really. It's almost automated at a certain degree. So let's say a claim is detected as a fraudulent claim, then immediately all of your particulars, your personal information, is then transferred to the fraud prevention department. Then your ID number, your name gets flagged. When it is flagged, right now we are in the age of AI. We are in the age of technology whereby immediately anyone in any other company, insurance company that is, immediately when they type in your ID number, and this, of course, you will be trying to apply for insurance elsewhere, immediately have a Kenya ID number on the system. It tells them that this person has been flagged due to a fraudulent claim. And that person that is looking at the system telling them the information, they need to immediately report you to the fraud prevention officer of that insurance company. So at the end of the day, you will end up having a bad record in all of the insurance company, and you might not ever be able to take insurance anywhere. But let's say now you are not trying to apply for this insurance on the phone. It's actually face to face, and you are doing application with, hard copy papers. This will still just round up to the same to the same area, because you speak to an advisor or a representative face to face, and then you sign the papers. You have your signature there. They need to submit that policy to their manager or the branch manager, either the team manager or the branch manager. The branch manager now needs to capture your information in the system and then send you a welcome letter. The minute they punch in your ID number, it reflects that you have been flagged. Immediately they need to call you or call the representative to say, this person is flagged, please stay away. So once you have been detected and once you're caught making a fraudulent claim, you probably will never be able to get insurance anywhere, whether it's a life cover or funeral cover or insurance for your gadgets or for your home or for your car. Your ID number will always reflect as flagged.
So in that case, how do I then clear my name, so to say? Is there some sort of period that I'm not allowed to get insurance, or is it a complete dead end where there's no means and ways of getting life cover for me anymore?
Look, the answer here is really a big yes and no, because it will depend on each company. Different insurance companies have different rules. So you might find that a certain insurance company says, okay, for your funeral cover, we won't be able to cover you for the next 5 years until in our database as this ABC insurance company, your name is cleared. And the other company next to the one might say, listen, we can never cover you actually forever. Then comes another company and says, you know what, after 10 years you can reapply, we might take you. And yet another company can say, no, come back in 3 years or come back in 2 years. So the number of years or the waiting period there before your name is cleared really differs between company and company. And this is largely due to each company's bylaws. They all operate differently. They all have, some have similar, but most of them will often have different license categories as well as different product license categories. So it really depends which company now you're dealing with. But yeah, the answer is basically still depends. It's a yes or no. Depends. Yeah, some might not cover you forever. Some will give you a waiting period.
I think when you mentioned the top three insurance scams, if I heard you correctly, there's also a flip side of it where some of the life covers and some of the funeral covers would be the actual perpetrators in this case, where you find that the scammers are not actually being given they can't claim, or during the claim it's either they don't get the payout, or maybe there's then a long turnaround time, a turnover time, where it almost gets you to a point where you stop really seeking for your payout. In this kind of situation, it's either paperwork after paperwork after paperwork, and it also involves a lot of back and forth, a lot of phone calls. Maybe take us through what to look out for when we are being given the runaround and it is proving to be a scam, maybe that need us to really flag it.
Right. When if you're making a claim and you have been giving a runaround, um, first I'd say just ask for the specific address and say, I will come there in person. Which documents are you looking for? They must tell you the documents they're looking for. And you can even go as further as asking whether they want these documents to be certified or not. Then, whoever you're speaking to, you need to have emails of that person or the department at least, and their contact details, either the department's contact details or the specific individual you're dealing with. Now, the turnaround time needs to be clearly stated to you. If it's on the call, it's even better, because each insurance company is required to record each and every single call. Now, for claims, the record needs to be kept for 5 years, even after termination of the business relationship, so that you can have proof. Should this matter then need to be taken to the ombuds, or if the ombuds then refer it to a high court, then you have proof. You have nothing to worry about, because you asked these questions and they gave you answers, and it's there on records, and it will be there even 5 years later. Right? Now, when they tell you the documents that they are looking for and they tell you the turnaround time, make sure you submit those documents, but also be wary of your own information that you gave them. So ask them things like, on the system, since I gave you my ID number, what address can you see there? What banking details can you see there? Can you confirm the name of the bank that you're seeing there? Can you also confirm the amount of cover that I have to see if it matches the one on your documents or the one you were told? Because in some instances you don't even receive your documents, which companies need to really look into. They need to stop allowing agents or representatives to give people policies and not send them documents, because even if the address is wrong, then the consumer doesn't know. And so on claim stage, you might be giving a runaround, especially if it's something more serious like a beneficiary's date of birth. So you ask all this information, even your beneficiaries' names, how they are spelled, the date of birth, the addresses, to make sure that should they go over their turnaround time, this time when you call, you remind them, you have the records and they will be there even 5 years later. Do you want me to take you to ombudsman? Do you want me to even take this matter to the court, to the high court? Then in this way, you really applying pressure where it is important. You're applying pressure where it is necessary so that you get your claim in record time. And should this be a scam, they will not have any other information that you are asking them than the one you gave them in the specific call, in the one call. If it's a scammer, if it's a fake broker, and they are asking for your details, claiming they are from your insurance company, and you start asking them, before they ask you, you're asking them, who's my beneficiary? What is my beneficiary's date of birth? my beneficiary's phone number, my beneficiary's address. They will not have this information. They will start biting their tongue, and that's when you need to hang up your phone. The longer you take on this call with the person, they might be able to swindle you their direction.
Yeah, because they are very good with their words and how they move. And also the confidence in them makes it feel like it might just be the right thing to do. Refilwe, it was a great chat. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me on the show, Pretty. Let's do it again any other time. I'll make sure yesterday does not repeat itself.
You sound like the anchor. Let's do it again anytime. Thanks, Refilwe. And that's Refilwe Manyama giving us insight in terms of some of the insurance scams that we need to look out for. He is the senior financial advisor, and he really carried that conversation with so much weight and giving us some of the things to look out for, saying that really, truly, and honestly, we need to assist our elders when it comes to insurance and understanding that some of the text message that always come through or maybe phone calls that they get are really just a bigger scam, educating them and maybe even asking them that should anybody call you in regards to A, B, C, and D, you always have the comfort and the opportunity to say, please call my niece or my daughter. She's the one who usually deals with such things. Maybe we should get into a habit of really training them, as they are the number one biggest people that are being scammed in our country, and we need to do away with it. It's 2 minutes after 2. We'll be getting into your dating safety and what protocols you should be looking out for, some of the rules that you should put into place when you do go on dates. We'll be speaking to Umali, library cadet for the city of Ekurhuleni Library, and we'll be getting some insight in terms of the do's and the don'ts when we are going out.